Welcome to the Get Real podcast. I am Austin, your host, and today we're going to be talking about the Philadelphia 76ers and if Ben Simmons shooting threes is the only way this team can contend. I'm here to tell you that that's the only way they're going to win it, and I'll tell you why. Simmons is a special player, obviously. He's a franchise player. You can debate that he's top 15 already, sneaking on top 10. The guy can do it all. First game of this season, he posted 19 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists as a 6'11 point guard. That whole sentence I just said sounds crazy, and you don't find players like that. Just the other night, last night as well, he posted a triple-double in not many minutes. 13 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists. He's dangerous. And he did all of this without making a three-pointer. In today's age, that is, as Stephen A. Smith would say, blasphemy. That's really hard to do, because in today's league, it is all about that three-point shot. So the fact he can do that without that weapon in his arsenal is very impressive, because only really him, LeBron doesn't shoot many threes, but he does make them. He's not poor, he just doesn't shoot a lot. So only really guys like him, LeBron, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, those are the only guys who without a really deadly three-point threat can dominate a court like that. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to limit what Philly can do. It's going to limit Philly down the line to where they won't be able to compete with guys like Boston. Whether Simmons wants to acknowledge it or not, he needs to either develop, and I'm talking about 35% from three, the league average, 33-35%, just be a relative threat. Him or Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid actually shoots threes, hits about 30%, but unless he just goes crazy and channels his inner Steph Curry or DeMarcus Cousins or Anthony Davis and starts nailing three-pointers, Simmons needs to be the guy to do that. Because Embiid does pretty much everything else perfectly. He's one of the best centers in the NBA. And Simmons, with a three-point shot, to me, in my eyes, that makes him a top 5 player. Because at that point, what can't he do? He handles the ball like a point guard. He handles the ball like a point guard. He can drive it into the paint, dunk on pretty much anybody. He's perfect in transition, plays great defense. He has the vision of Magic, Manu combined pretty much when he's dishing out assists. The kid's amazing, and he's, like I said, he's just a kid. This is technically his 4th year at the NBA, but his very first year, he missed it completely. That's why last year, in his second year, he won Rookie of the Year. But in his second year of playing in the NBA, he's already killing it. But there are other reasons why this kid must develop a three-point shot. They don't have many shooters around this team. You got to remember, during their playoff run last year, they picked up, late in the season, Marco Bellinelli, Ersan Ilyasova. And when I first saw those pickups, I said, okay, that's nice. That'll help him a little bit. It won't be the biggest deal. Bellinelli and Ilyasova really came through for that team. And they fit perfectly. I was kind of surprised to see them both go, actually. I thought, damn, they fit perfectly into that team system and fill a major need, which is three-point shooting. Marco Bellinelli is back with the San Antonio Spurs. Ilyasova, I believe, is in Milwaukee back now. He used to play with them earlier in his career. They do have guys like Dario Saric, who's a very good stretch power forward. He's probably their best shooter. Robert Covington, their starting small forward, he's a good player. He is the stereotypical 3-and-D player. But he can also put the ball on the court, on the floor, drive in. He can do more than that. He just doesn't stay in the corner. But he is very inconsistent. He almost reminds me of Danny Green in that aspect. When he's on, he's on. When he's not, you know he's not. He's icy hot 2.0. He's hot and cold plenty of times. And then they have J.J. Redick, and he's fine. He's really good. I've watched this guy live, and his release is lightning quick. But he's like 36, and he's coming off the bench now. He can't be your savior every single time. You got to figure it out with other guys. Markelle Fultz is not proven, despite being the #1 overall pick. He hit his first three-pointer the other night. He has potential, but how long will it take for him to hit it? Because they're trying to win right now. Not many teams have pulled off success without a deadly three-point shot. The Spurs have done it, not so much in this modern era of three-point basketball. I mean, in 2014, they didn't shoot a lot. They were just really accurate when they did shoot it. And also, that was just some of the best ball movement people have seen since the Celtics of the 80s. They had other things going on for them, and they're coming back for revenge after losing in 2013. The Memphis Grizzlies have also been a really good team. Not successful in terms, they've never won a championship. They've been to the conference finals once, and they got stomped. I believe that was in 2013. You can be good. You can be solid. You might make a conference finals appearance, but you're not going to win it. Not with Boston, not with Milwaukee being an up-and-coming team, not with Toronto that has Kawhi Leonard, Danny Green, Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka, Valanciunas, then guys like Anunoby coming off the bench. You've got competition. Despite LeBron being gone, you still have competition out there and need to make adjustments to counter that. Because Boston's going to kill you every single time if you don't develop more of a threat. I think Kyrie shot like 33%. He was terrible in that first game. Gordon Hayward, his first game since that nasty injury last year, was also very rusty. But still, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Al Horford chipped in too. Terry Rozier buried Philly in the opening night. And like I said before, opening night doesn't mean it's going to be like that the whole season. Players change, teams get better chemistry, they get hot, they get streaking in the 82-game season. The opener is not the biggest game ever, but it's going to happen in the playoffs because your weaknesses are especially exploited in the playoffs. So if they somehow make it past Toronto, past Indiana, past Milwaukee, and face Boston in the conference finals, they're going to get stomped. Because last year they lost to a Boston team in the semi-conference finals, I believe. They lost to Boston without Irving because he was hurt, without Hayward and he was hurt. They got killed. Boston will kill them again unless they either make a big acquisition or someone develops a three-point shot. Because despite how amazing Simmons and Embiid is, these guys are both alpha dogs. They're both going to take it to the basket. They're both going to give 110%. But if they keep being stubborn, at least Embiid's trying to develop that three-point shot. Simmons is like, screw it, I'm not even going to attempt it. The only attempts from three that he made last year are those half-court heaves with 2 seconds left at the end of the game. That's it. He never actually made past half-court and attempted the three last year. And he's still that good in spite of all that, not to keep going around in circles. But if they do not develop this or something else does not happen, you can see this team, despite what your measure of success is, hit a wall early on. So let me hear what you guys think. As always, this is the Get Real Podcast. Thank you.